Tomorrow morning, you wake up expecting an ordinary day. Then you look outside, and something feels terribly wrong. The Pacific Ocean is gone. No waves crash against the shore. No tides rise or fall. The endless blue horizon has become cracked earth. Only silence remains where an ocean once lived. You touch the ground, hoping this is just a dream. Even the lighthouse stands where water should be. Overnight, the world has completely changed. You slowly climb down into what used to be the Pacific Ocean. Every step sinks into ground that was once hidden beneath miles of water. Seashells, starfish, and seaweed now lie exposed under the open sky. Then you see something even more unbelievable. A gigantic cargo ship, stranded in the middle of nowhere. Standing beside it, you finally understand the true scale of the missing ocean. Its massive anchor still rests exactly where it was dropped. Every crack in the seabed reveals a world that humans were never meant to see. As far as you can see, the ocean has become an endless wasteland. And this is only the beginning of Earth's greatest catastrophe. But one question refuses to leave your mind. If every ocean is gone, where did all that water go? Water can't simply vanish. The sky is still blue. The sun is still shining. Nothing above you seems unusual. Yet oceans once covered nearly 71% of Earth's surface. That's about 1.3 billion cubic kilometers of water. A volume so vast, it's almost impossible to imagine. So if it didn't disappear, where is it now? Your first thought is simple. Maybe the oceans evaporated into the sky? It sounds reasonable. After all, that's how Earth's water cycle works. Water evaporates into the atmosphere, forms clouds, then returns as rain. But there's one enormous problem. Earth's atmosphere holds only a tiny fraction of all its water, not nearly enough to hide every ocean. If the oceans aren't in the sky, could they be underground? At first, that sounds like a reasonable explanation. After all, Earth stores vast amounts of groundwater, hidden deep beneath layers of rock and soil. But the numbers tell a very different story. Groundwater is only a small fraction of Earth's total water. Even if you collected every drop, it still wouldn't come close to replacing the oceans. So the oceans didn't disappear beneath our feet. The mystery has only become even deeper. So, could the oceans have frozen instead? Earth already holds an enormous amount of ice. Most of it is locked inside Antarctica and Greenland. These frozen landscapes contain trillions of tons of water. But even all that ice has its limits. The oceans hold far more water than every glacier and ice sheet combined. The difference isn't small. It's absolutely enormous. So freezing can't explain where the oceans went. Once again, we're left without an answer. Could the oceans have escaped into space? Believe it or not, Earth does lose a little water every day. Some water molecules rise high into the atmosphere. A tiny number eventually escape Earth's gravity. But the amount is incredibly small. It happens one molecule at a time, even over millions of years. It still wouldn't remove an entire ocean. So space can't explain what happened. By now, one thing has become painfully clear. By now, one fact is impossible to ignore. Water doesn't simply disappear. It only changes its form. Ice, liquid, or vapor. But the amount of water on Earth remains nearly the same. That's one of the basic principles of our planet, which means this event should be impossible. And yet, somehow, it happened. But the oceans weren't the only things that disappeared. An entire world depended on them. Millions of marine animals were suddenly left without water. For most of them, survival lasted only minutes. Even the largest creatures on Earth were helpless. Whales that once ruled the oceans. now lay stranded on an endless desert. Seabirds circled overhead, searching for a sea that no longer existed. In a single day, entire ecosystems collapsed, and humanity was about to face the consequences next. The disaster didn't stop with the oceans. Global shipping came to a halt. Thousands of cargo ships were stranded overnight. The world's busiest trade routes simply disappeared. Ports that once connected continents fell silent. Nothing could move. Food, fuel, medicine. Everything depended on the sea. The crisis quickly spread beyond the coastline. Many coastal cities depend on seawater every single day, not for drinking directly, but through massive desalination plants. Without the ocean, those facilities stopped almost instantly. Freshwater reserves began to shrink. Communities rushed to secure every remaining drop. What began as an environmental disaster was becoming a global water crisis. But the oceans did far more than hold water. They also stored enormous amounts of heat. Every day, the oceans absorbed energy from the sun, then slowly released it back into the atmosphere. Without that natural balance, days became far hotter, nights became far colder, temperature swings grew more extreme. Earth's climate was beginning to unravel, and this was only the beginning. Then another invisible system began to fail. Most of Earth's rain begins over the oceans, as seawater evaporates into the atmosphere. Without the oceans, far less water vapor reached the sky. Clouds became fewer. Rainfall began to disappear. Fields slowly turned to dust. Harvests started to fail. A global drought had begun. Without rain, crops could no longer survive. Harvests failed across entire regions. Food production began to collapse. Storage facilities emptied faster than they could be refilled. Supply chains started to break apart. The effects reached every city. Every supermarket shelf told the same story. There simply wasn't enough food. A worldwide famine was no longer a possibility. It had become reality. As resources disappeared, society began to change. Food, water, and fuel became more valuable than ever before. Communities struggled to protect what little they had left. Many governments declared states of emergency. International trade gave way to local survival. The global economy entered an unprecedented crisis. For millions of people, everyday life became a fight to survive. Yet even in the darkest moments, people still found ways to help one another. Because in the end, survival has always depended on humanity itself. The oceans are far more than vast bodies of water. They shape our climate. They drive the water cycle. They feed billions of people. They connect continents. And they make life on Earth possible. Without them, our world would become almost unrecognizable. Fortunately, this story is only a thought experiment, but it reminds us just how extraordinary our oceans truly are. Thankfully, this was only a thought experiment. Our oceans are still here, covering more than 70% of our planet. They shape our climate, bring rain, grow our food, and make life possible. They are home to an incredible diversity of marine life, from vibrant coral reefs to the deepest unexplored waters. They connect nations, support global trade, and sustain millions of livelihoods. They also give us places of beauty, wonder, and peace. Every wave that reaches the shore is a reminder of how connected we are to the sea. When we protect the oceans, we protect the future of life on Earth. Because without the oceans, Earth would never be the home we know today.